Just a second, everybody. Give me just a second, everybody. Trying to make sure that I got something taken care of. I wanted to post that back out to my page. Hello, everybody. As you guys start coming in, I'm trying to get my incense burning here. Make sure all your energy and stuff's all good. As we start this Astrology TV, Breaking the Cage for this week. And we are headed towards a new moon in Virgo. This is a very powerful week. And for those of you who do catch the home light security readings that I put out, usually I try to put them out in the beginning of the month. If you are any of the ones who followed them, because I go through each and every astrological sign, I was warning that most of this energy, I know that you think of August as the Lion's Gate energy, and just the way that it was lined up with the astrological movement, it was all directing you. That Lion's Gate and everything was all directing you to this new moon. So there's a lot going on, and we're going to get into all of that in just a second, but I got to do a little bit of that information you got to do when you start the shows. Hold on, let's do. First, such as, we all love you here at the Matrix Mind Media, and I have been thankful enough that Matt is allowing me to put this show out to help everybody with, your energies and understanding the energy that's coming in and what's going on. So I am more than thankful to be able to do Astrology TV and Breaking the Cage and bringing it out to each and every one of you. But I, just like all of you, love Matt and love the Matrix Minds, and I'm trying to remind myself to always put it out there. You guys know Matt does a lot for you, and he is always doing some kind of homework, always finding something to put out for you, and you know that he does all of that, just flat out with the kindness of his heart, and he's not getting paid. So remember, the donations always go a long way. But then if you're one of those people that you want also to feel and see and touch something with your own investment that is helping him in some way, remember, he has the swag shop at his website, and all of that information is in the description box below, or when you can look it up. But you can always go get t-shirts, hats. I think he has all kinds of stuff there with the Matrix Minds. So in one form or another, it's giving you something as well, and helping him continue to keep the Matrix Minds coming to you on a regular basis. So if you love him, remember that you love him, and if you can, try to send him a little bit of additional oomph of love if you got the extra flow to give right now. I just wanted to throw that out there. Now, before I get into the blueprint and what I'm getting from my guides and the astrology, the new moon and everything, I have been recently coming out with new things that I'm going to be bringing to the board next month. And the very first thing that we're doing, those of you who do follow me personally, you know that I do Thursday weekly Thunder, and usually that's Kelly and I, a friend of mine, and we are throwing out universal readings, and we usually do it for approximately an hour of whatever it is that the collective consciousness needs to hear. So we're giving a little bit of that information. I think we do it on Thursday nights at 9:00 typically. But for those of you who have seen and been part of that, my friend Kelly is getting in on helping me out, because I'm bringing I'm sorry, I'm a little congested and I'm a little bit of pain here on my side. So if I stop to breathe, just give me a moment. But I'm bringing out what is going to be considered the moon phases. And these are going to be specific things that we are doing. We're going to do what I like to call Sanctify, and it's Monster on a Pyre. We're going to do these twice a month. Kelly and I are going to be doing Sanctify, Monster on a Pyre, and more or less what that is, the inner monster, the inner ego, the inner what doesn't serve you, but what you're possibly in denial about, and what you're having trouble releasing, surrendering, and letting go, or where you're having trouble coming into that confidence, that courage, that fire of coming back into your power. So what we're going to be doing, truthfully, is twice a month in between the new moon and the full moon, or right up to it, depending on the weather. And I'm saying it that way because I am supposed to be doing with Kelly the first Monster on a Pyre spell/ritual that we are going to allow everybody to be a part of. And it's working towards helping us see our ego, see where it doesn't serve us, help us learn that lesson, release it, surrender it, or, come full circle with it, helping us to move forward. So as we go through the moon phases of the new moon or the full moon, we are quite capable of bringing it into light and seeing what has to be changed, as well as bringing new life into the new beginnings, which is part of the new moon. So the Monster on a Pyre is supposed to take place tomorrow. And I have been saying the buy-in for that because we're going to do the ritual. We're going to be, doing it with the fire, with our herbs and so forth. We're going to have candle that's also going to burn with people's names. We're going to etch their name into it. I'm also going to have a voodoo doll that I'm going to be making, which will stand up for more or less what no longer serves us, our ego, and helping to sanctify it and burn it away. So our vibrations are constantly moving up. Now, we're supposed to be doing this tomorrow evening, but we haven't given a time on tomorrow evening because we found out that we have a storm coming in. If it's not too bad, considering we are dealing with a fire, if it is not too bad, we will still be doing it tomorrow night. Otherwise, we will push it back a day or two according to the storm so that we can't burn if you're being rained out. So the point is we're gonna be doing these. And the buy-in starts just at $3 because we're just trying to make sure that we can cover the supplies, basically. And if you have any additional things you would like us to add into the spell, you could always let us know and we can move on from there. But like I said, the original timing for this is supposed to take place tomorrow evening. And you'll be able to see that on my Facebook pages. But if the storm is looking like it's going to kind of rain us out, then we will push it back a day or so. All of that information, you can always contact me directly through Facebook Messenger if you want to be part of it and help us to sanctify this energy. Now, I'm also doing new moon workshops that are going to, not new moon, moon phase workshops that are going to be starting next month. And I'm going to ask specifically that, if you want to be part of the workshop, if you want both the full moon and the new moon, to let me know at least 2 weeks in advance, because I need to make sure that I'm not overbooking too many people so that I can make sure we're on the proper scheduling for this. And when I do these workshops, these moon phase workshops, I'm going to specifically give out a reading during that moon phase, somewhere within that 5-day period of that new moon or that full moon, so that you'll be able to sit down directly with me in a virtual message, somewhat like what you're doing right now, and we'll be able to look at your actual chart, your transiting chart, and we'll be able to start seeing exactly what it is that you are working with in energy and what it is that this full moon or this new moon is truly targeting, and help you to move forward, because I'm going to be looking into getting past the generic mainstream ideas of these moon phases of it's just release, surrender, let go, or bringing it to light. I'm going to start targeting it directly into your life and to where it's working its energy and helping you to work your energy the best you can, as well as I will give you, your best idea of planetary crystals and herbs and stuff that you may want to. Some people carry their crystals with them everywhere, and we can look at your chart according to your planetary energy, and I will give you, not just that reading, not just setting you up for understanding that direction and working through those phases, but I'm also going to give you individually, like, hey, this might be like a little mojo bag of crystals that you might want to carry at this time, because it may pinpoint extra help for you specifically. So I'll be looking into oils, I'll be looking into herbs, I'll be looking into teas, I'll be looking into crystals of individual for each and every one who does take part in these rituals. But again, you have to let me know and be part of it 2 weeks in advance so that I have time to make sure I didn't overbook people during the actual phase. Because once I'm too full, sorry, you're going to have to wait for the next one. It's that simple. With that being said, I'm also going to be bringing out next month, I'm going to be bringing out light ray readings. I've heard so many times people will be like, I'm of the second ray, or I'm the blue ray, or I'm the violet ray. Honey, all of you, I want you all to know you're many rays of light. You're many rays of colors. You have a main one, yes, but you also have a soul one, an identity one. You know, there's an astral ray for you. And I want you guys to understand it on a true basis of depths of who and what you are and how that helps you. So I'm also going to be bringing, you know, specific ray readings according to your birth date. And I'm going to go through and do all of that homework, and I will be able to give it to you, whether it's in a file or whether it's you want to sit down and have a reading about it. I'm still working that out, but it will be coming out next month. And then I have my regular consultations and astrological readings that I do. And when I do astrological readings or transiting readings, I don't just give you a file and be like, have a nice day. I sit down with you and I thoroughly go over the depths of helping you understand how that works. And I'm really working with you. My readings for astrological charts, natal charts, transiting charts, these typically work, especially a natal, is usually approximately a 2-hour session. It's a consultation. I'm going through mentoring with you, not just giving you that information. So I definitely have all these sessions that I'm starting to send out. But if you want to have a mentorship, just a reading mentorship for an hour, all of that information is also in the description box. You can find me there. Now, with that being said, let me have a sip of my drink and we're going to get back to this week. This is August 21st through the 27th. It is Astrology TV, Breaking the Cage with Matrix Mind Media. This is Breaking the Cage. I call it Breaking the Cage because we are breaking away from everything that we were taught. We are breaking away from the lies that we were told life was. And we're learning how to truly be authentic and soulful and get real and honest with ourselves. And I'm saying this because I have been warning everybody. This is very good and positive things. However, a lot of times when we're getting into, you know, really making like landmark changes in our life, sometimes it doesn't feel really well. And especially when you're in denial of things. And the fact is, since before 2020, I kept trying to remind everybody that you're going to start seeing this unraveling. Then 2020 hit, more unraveling. And to be honest, we're just now really like, welcome to the game. And you're going to see a lot of destruction that is still taking place. And the reason I'm saying it is because I have so many people who are like, I can't wait till the age of Aquarius. People, we are in the age of Aquarius. The only reason it is not feeling like what you thought the age of Aquarius was is because technically we still have so much destruction to make happen from the age of Pisces. So the age of Aquarius can truly be what it was supposed to be about. And this is speaking to us specifically of the completion of a cycle. We are completing the cycle, but it's not just a 1 month, 1 day, 1 dream. This has been a long time coming. And I've been warning people that it's not that it's destruction, it's we're learning how to stop sustaining energies that were not meant to be sustained. We're learning how to release them and learn how to transmutate and transform, get past the destruction. Because what they're giving me is they're giving me they're giving me wisdom of learning how to let go of the sustaining energy, for the destruction will create the love, so that we're allowing it to truly flow and come through. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is, for one, because I've been doing a lot of work lately, and I'm looking at the next 2 years, and there's a lot more that has to unravel as we move forward. And as long as you are doing your soulful work, then, you know, yay for you, and I'm proud, and it won't be as hard. But you are going to see it get harder on those who are in denial. And let me make sure, because the way that we've been seeing this lately is, or I've been dealing with different clients and so forth, is denial is a lot like a lie that you tell yourself, and you're still trying to make yourself believe. And a problem with that is you can't talk to anybody or help anybody or have a conversation and get through to their head when they still believe their lies. And this is what we're talking about. It's not just shadow work. It's you know, ancestral work. It's ancestral baggage that you've been carrying for eons. We're learning how to come to terms with some of this funk and learn how to actually rise. Not rise above it and forget it, but learn from the lesson and move on. And the biggest part is, there will always be more shadow work. There will always be more ancestral work. There will always be something, somewhere, and I'll be the first one to say it. Even I know I got stuff I ain't working on, but that's the key. Realizing where you're technically causing your own self-sabotage, so that you can stop causing the self-sabotage. With that being said, I wanted to bring that out with what I'm getting from my guides, because this is a new moon in Virgo, coming off of, honestly, the full moon was not that big of a deal. It was, but it was programmed by the energy of the Lionsgate. And it's like the whole month has just been kind of like, I'm coming and we're going to do this work, and I'm all up in your face. You've got, 8 planets technically in retrograde? And I do say planets because I'm also counting, like Chiron and, the dwarf planets that your other astrologers leave blank and ignore. So we have so much retrograde energy right now, so much in our head. Virgo new moon is the 6th house. The 6th house is our daily routines. And I cannot say enough. People just see the 6th house as our daily routines. Sorry, I had to turn one of my little cheat sheets here. They see it as, your service, your diet, your health, your hygiene, your jobs, your routines, what you do on a daily basis. But what they do not understand a lot of times when we're looking at the 6th house, which is Virgo, is it's technically just like food. The energy that you keep, the energy that you are part of, is something you are digesting. And we are coming into where we're finding more and more people are starting to step into the fact of, I think I'm an empath. Honey, each and every person on this planet, if they will tap in, wake up and turn on, is an empath. Every single one of us can grow into a much stronger empath, grow into mediumship, and start to really understand. But when you're not understanding that empath energy, when you're not understanding what you're connecting to, that's when it still feels like it's the curse and a blessing. Is understanding how to bring it into the blessing so that it brings help. And Virgo energy now has Regulus in it. It's been here for a while, but you have to understand these fixed stars. The fixed stars themselves move. I mean, like a degree for every 72 years. And so you're now starting to see that Regulus is going to start changing that Virgo energy to your daily routines, your people, your places, your things of energies that you are part of, that you consume. It also consumes you. It is something you are literally digesting, breathing into your body and putting into your gut, putting into your solar plexus and your sacral chakra. And are you digesting the energies well? Are those people, places, and things serving you? Are they helping you move in the direction of what you truly want to see yourself, your life be? Are you truly happy to where you're like, I enjoy my life? Or is it still a stretch? And or is it still, you're working tooth and nail? This has a lot to do about the people, places, and things that you are consuming in energy. These routines, are they serving you? But more importantly, do they serve your heart, your soul, what you want to see, what you want of life? All of these hard things that have been coming up is because it's pointing you in the direction of going, it does or it doesn't serve. It is something that you need to get rid of, shift, in order for you to have the desires you want come into life, the time to create what you want come into life. See, because Virgo is anal retentive. It's the troubleshooter. It is diet. It is hygiene. It is the virgin. It is going to have problems understanding that you were taught you must go to A, you must go to B, then you must go to C, then you must go to D. And over time, we learn, well, I can skip B and C, and I can go from A straight to D. But see, Virgos are anal retentive that way. There's a reason for them to be this way. But is the reasoning behind your people, places, and things, your daily tasks, the mundane that you choose to be part of, are you able to go from A to D? Or are you holding on to B and C, but really, that's an old world thinking, and it's time to spiritually mature? And I put it this way because I always say that sixth house of these routines have a lot to do with what is mundane. What you think is so repetitively not important because it's repetitive. You get up every day, you brush your teeth, you take a shower, you eat some breakfast, you jump in your car, you head to work, you start your day. Or your day is ending, your work is over, and you're on your way home. Well, what do you do next? Are you getting time for you? The things you want to do? Or I mean, like if you're an artist, are you getting time to bring that art to the surface? If you're a writer, are you getting time to, just like meditation, allow that meditative writing work to come out? Are you getting time for these things? Because this is all part of your routines. Do your routines serve you? Do they shift with what you need? Or is it time to realize you must shift? Regulus is now part of Virgo. If it does not support the soul, it's not worth it. So we're looking at our routines shifting in this way as we move forward. And on the new moon, which is the 27th, the last day, this energy is going to be building all week. But on that last day, that new moon really is only talking to Mars. Hold on, let me validate it right. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so it's the new moon and the sun sitting on top of each other. And when it's at its peak, it is only talking to Mars. And the communication, passion, action, aggression is your warrior communicating with intelligence. And what I mean by that is I see the inner warrior as your inner SWAT team. It's in Gemini, which is that energy of curiosity. Let me try new things. I'm a little bit fickle about it, but I'm willing to change and shift and try. But it's your warrior. Is your warrior an intelligent warrior who's going to think this through and apply all of that logic? Or is it all emotion, no logic, and apply all the haste? And this is saying balance right now. Balance your inner warrior. I always say that Mars is also like a sumo wrestler, in the sense of it's your sacral chakra. It's how you feel about yourself, how you feel about yourself in these relationships, and it's part of how you strengthen your inner fire. And if you feel good about you, you could be the biggest, fattest sumo wrestler ever, walking around in a diaper, but if you feel good about you, then screw all them. Don't worry about what they think. Screw it. Because if you feel good about you, that's what's important. You could be the thinnest, anorexic, skinny looking thing, and if they don't like you, but you like you, and I don't mean denial, I don't mean lies. If you are loving you, you are in that inner violet flame fire of soul self, then don't worry about what they think, because they haven't found their soul self. So if you're feeling good about you, you're able to be in your power. You're able to stand firm in that inner warrior and communicate what you need, but not aggressively in a way to where it's like biting someone's head off because you feel attacked. If you're in your power, they can't attack. Don't give them value to determine your daily routines, your daily rituals, your time. People, places, things of energy. Does it serve your soul and your inner flame? If it doesn't, maybe you want to think about that. And this energy is going to be building all week to that new moon to direct you in the new direction. And like I said, it's going to be the communication you're having with yourself and the outer world, with your inner passion, action, aggression, fire, source. Where will you take it? Now, before I get into the rest of the week as we build to it, let me jump into the blueprint energy a little bit. And I know a lot of these energies seem like they're the same because some of these planets are moving incredibly slow, but some move fast, some move slow. And it is important for you to understand, because with us having so many planets in retrograde, that's also causing body functions to have little quirks, little blockages in chakras and whatnot. And I'm helping you to understand it's not just astrological, it's not just energy. Your body works with the vibrational frequency, but it's also dealing with inside of you what your universe, your inner universe, is trying to work out. What sometimes, it's like they say, stress can do all kinds of things to the body. However, it usually takes a couple weeks for it to show itself. And when we're talking about all these planets being in retrograde, that inward thinking, that over communication in the mind, communicating the energies that go from, your frontal lobe to the zeal point, down through the spinal column, into those chakras. And is it blocking them? Is it unblocking them? Is it causing issues? It's very important information for you to know. Jupiter, which is in retrograde, I do not have Eris. I have trouble pinpointing Eris, but Eris is in Aries. Eris Chiron, and Jupiter are all in retrograde in Aries. This is why I've been saying from now until December, it is all about training your brain, being responsible for the energy that you bring, the thinking that you bring, because that is the manifestation point. Your manifestation starts before it comes out of your mouth. It's in your head. Jupiter is abundant and it is higher knowledge, but it's a magnifying glass as well. Anything that it's part of, it accesses on. And you're talking about Chiron, the wounded healer in a brand new cycle of Aries going, well, I just want to make the new change, but am I willing to take the time to do it? Or it didn't work, so and I give up. Because Eris here is also the goddess of strife, holding on to all of that negativity that doesn't serve because you can't seem to just let it go. So are these energies fueling your Jupiter with negativity? And Jupiter is literally on the ears. So what are you hearing this week? Are you hearing things that are tainting your direction of your thinking? Are you around people and whatnot? Are you allowing the actual, understand also the ears, right behind the ears are also past life chakras. So it may have a reason for bringing these negativities to you because it's pieces that you were working on over and over again, trying to change. Are you allowing your hearing, your thinking process to direct what's going into the zeal point and send that information up and down the spine? Your Chiron, which is the wounded healer, meaning I'm really great at seeing it for everybody else, but I kind of have problems seeing it for myself. There's some denial here. Chiron is on the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is all about your movement, your problem solving, and your social interactions. Will you become the chameleon this week? And I call one of the empaths the chameleon. It's one of the essential oils that I make on my spiritual stuff, but it's for empaths. I call it the chameleon because, and 90% of the time, anybody I come across who's a Cancer is a chameleon, because chameleons are both the moon and the water energy. Whether you're sun, moon, rising, you tap into that. But all empaths can tap into the fact of, have you ever been in a group of people and they all are opinionated, they're all having their conversation, and it's kind of like just maybe not necessarily picking on one person, but they're all going into a mold of, and that energy is just kind of funk, and before you know it, you're agreeing. But then, like, when you get home, you're like, I don't really feel that way. I don't really agree with the group. I don't really see it that way. That's the chameleon. The chameleon is when the empath is picking up so many other people, so many other opinions, so many other ideas that you lose your own. Well, you become the chameleon. You're talking about the frontal lobe, your problem solving, your social interaction, your actual ability of movement of your body. Then speaking with the Jupiter's ears of what you're hearing, and all of this energy goes directly to the zeal point and says, once it hits the zeal point, which is right here on the back of the head, it sends the signals up and down the spinal column as to what are we open for? Are we open for attack? Are we open for blockages? We're open for this? Or are we allowing that chameleon energy to drive us? Are you in charge of you? Did you train your brain? Uranus is also in retrograde, right on top of the on top of the North Node. And this is the lymph nodes in the neck. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize, the lymph nodes, you have a lot of lymph nodes throughout the whole body, but The main job of the lymph nodes is to protect against infection. Is your neck hurting? Are you having lymph node issues? Turning away? Realizing it's getting into the throat chakra? Are you listening too much? Are you speaking properly? Training your brain or chameleon energy. This is not just this week. You're going to be feeling this. But at this moment, because a lot of these are in retrograde and they're not really moving. These are important points of you to realize with your own spirituality, your own soulfulness, are you in charge of you? Helping you to rise and actually spiritually evolve, grow, and come into that power of you by knowing exactly when and where you are not. Not to mention, I've been saying for the last 4 years, with Uranus coming into Taurus, because I've been saying it for a while, and when Uranus went into retrograde and was here with the North Node, I was like, this isn't, I've been saying it over and over again. If you're not in your power, someone else will be. And I am getting to where I'm starting to talk about, I'm sorry, you guys know I'm a shaman. You know I deal with psychopump. You know I deal with the other side. I am starting to speak of flat out, if you're not in your power, you may be coming into possessions because you're giving too much away. It is time to know yourself. Independence, individuality, standing in your soul fire. This is the time where we're finding ourselves. The energies is pushing one of two energies. It's like pushing you back into the cage over and over again to where eventually you're like, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. And then you lash out. But see, you're not in your power if you're lashing out. You've been pushed. You've been provoked. It's showing just how much you can handle. Or the other one is, can we push so hard that you submissively just sit down and say, okay, I quit? Neither one of these is an option. But those two are the ones that's going to bring about possessions if you keep allowing it to happen. This is why you have to get in your power. You have to get in your soul flame. You have to get in your authenticity. You got to deal with that denial. And why is it important for you to know if you're training your brain, if you're in charge, if you are giving your power away? It all has to do with self-love, not narcissistic energy, which can be very confusing. But like I said, self-love, you're talking about retrogrades in your head too much. And this is saying we need some clarity. We need some love. We need to understand. We need some acceptance. But can you calmly come into this power and this belief and this courage in yourself to be able to boldly step forward and go, I am. That's the key. Any of you who are on this spiritual path knows I am is some of the most powerful words ever. What will you put behind what you are? I am. Train your brain. Chiron, Jupiter, ears, frontal lobe, the lymph nodes. Are you having neck problems? Because it's about not allowing illnesses in. Then we move down to Cancer, which the abdominal energy, we're getting into the solar plexus and the sacral energy again, and it's supporting the abdominal energy. You got to understand, the abdominal also is like the trunk. It's the core of the body. It is what supports it. It's what holds it all in so that it's functioning properly. It's also that second brain. It's coming into the gut, into that solar plexus, into I am, into that power. Are you going to bless yourself with positive I ams, or are you digesting in that new moon energy? Full moon, new moon energy of your people, places, and things. The energies that you digest on your daily mundane tasks, do they serve you? Are you digesting things and bringing it into you that serve you or not? Very powerful energies going here to help your blueprint really start to make you rise again. You have Venus, which is still in Leo. The sun is about to move out of Leo. But Leo is the heart. I cannot state enough. Venus is sensitivity. So if your chest is hurting, even if you're not having a real heart problem, if the heart is heavy, your sensitivity is pushing on that energy right now. Leo is not just, it's the heart, but it's also the spine. It's connected to the sun. The sun is illuminating, Venus is illuminating the sensitivity of if your heart truly feels free. Or if it's fighting. Is it fighting so hard that it hurts? You have Virgo, which is where the new moon will take place. And it is going over literally the lower back, like the lower back where the kidneys are and stuff. It is going over the intestines, the appendix. It is your solar plexus again and your sacral chakra. This all has to do with we're rebuilding the foundation by realizing what has to be rebuilt. What has to be in your daily routines. What will you breathe in and out into your life and your energy? Are you breathing in what serves you? Or are you stuck still believing that you have to breathe in what don't? There's a lot going on there about us shifting. Now, I'm going to start off with the astrology. And see, there's been a grand cross. It started a week ago. Might have been a little more than a week ago. But it's going to continue right up until September. So that energy isn't breaking. That's part of the energies that you've been feeling on these people. Because don't act like if you're watching this show, you feel these energies. You're seeing the entitlement. You're seeing the aggression. You're seeing the self-centeredness that is coming out. And that's because some people, like I said, are getting into that energy where they're feeling like the lion in a cage and they're finally about to just snap and come out full force. Otherwise, the other ones are starting to feel like just push you until they sit down, submissively get them up. That's the key. You don't do either one of these. This is about soul depth and understanding ourselves. This Grand Cross is going to be here, like I said, until September. And then it's going to break into a T-square that's going to last through the rest of the year. Meaning, the only thing that's going to drop out of this is Venus, which will majorly, significantly change the energy because Venus will move. But the others are still going to be holding tight until it may be November, it may not be December. But that energy is going to be holding tight up through the end of the year. And we're talking about Saturn, in the 11th house of Aquarius, in retrograde, going, I got big, bright ideas. I want to try them. But that means I got to make some changes. And see, Aquarius is also like, I like to call Aquarius the fireworks. It's, you know something major is going to happen, but you don't know what. It'll be shock and awe. Saturn rules walls, boundaries, withholdings, restrictions, moving what makes those boundaries work or what kept them from working. The 11th house, which is where your dreams, your goals, and your ambitions can be breathed into life because you have the right groups and memberships that are helping you, supporting you on the same wavelength, the same spiritual energy, the same vibration. Are you all on the same vibration as your groups and memberships? Are they creating their own soul streams, but you're still able to support each other? Or is it more of push and shove? You're talking about that Saturn redirecting the ability to maneuver your life and breathe it into life the way you really want to see it. It is not getting along with the South Node, going, yeah, but I bet you won't because you're too used to it this way, and that's your comfort zone. And even though it doesn't serve you, the 8th house, where the South Node is the rules, laws, and boundaries of the relationships. I'm used to the relationship being this way, but they never work. If they don't work, there's a reason why they don't work. Something's set wrong. The 8th house is where you're able to breathe life into relationships that last. There's reasons why some relationships, are fluid and they go and go and go and continue to grow because you're able to change and mold with each other. This is when you truly have people who are in sync. Are your people in your relationships in sync with your energy? Or are you, I really just need somebody else to tell me that I'm good at it? There's your key. So many people stay in relationships, unfortunately, because they're afraid to be alone. Because they need somebody to be there with them. Because they need to feel that love, because they need to be able to go, have somebody to come home to. They being alone and finding out who you are, for some people, is just too hard. And I'm not saying that you should break up with people, but what I'm saying is are you with your relationships, your groups, your memberships, because they're the right ones? Are you growing? Truthfully, are you growing, or are they stagnant relationships that you just have to make you feel better about the lie you're telling yourself? It's just a question for you to ask yourself. You know if you're telling yourself the lie or not. You know if this pertains to you or not. You have that energy, which is then speaking to Venus in the 5th house of Leo, your creative house, your expression. Leo it's your fun zone. Leo is where you get to find out what makes you tick. It's your creative expression. It's where the actor learned how to act, found out that he enjoys it. It's where the singer is able to express their feelings, tap into their music and write. It's where the 5th house is your hobbies, your fun. It's your sexuality. It's finding you. Do you know who you are? The 5th house, at this moment, the sun's about to move out, but Venus is here going strong on the heart, going, are you going to pay any attention to what you want? And see, the 6th house, those routines, people, places, things, energies, your daily routines, your daily mundane tasks, which you overlook. The only reason it's mundane is because you do it so much repetitively that you don't realize it is one of the biggest things manifesting your energies. And when you're giving those energies away and not supporting the need of that 5th house, of that inner creation, that inner expression, that inner fun, that's when you start to also feel like life isn't that good. Like you're just work and sleep and work and eat and work and do it again every day, repetitively the same. Are you finding your fire, your flame, your fun? Because you're supposed to want to experience this life. You're supposed to enjoy it. And only you can tap into what you enjoy. Only you can tap into your fire. Only you can tap into what your personal expression is. But we're talking about Venus being here, making it incredibly sensitive about if you're getting it or if you're not. And that is speaking over to Uranus. Independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, second house, manifestation, money, finances, how we create. What is the possession of you? Do you carry the possession of you? Have you given all of your time and energy away and you're not getting to tap into that fire? Like I said, that energy has been pushing on people to where they're like, I need my me time. I need this. I need that. And it's crushing because there's areas that some of them have not given themselves the proper love for a long ass time. And this is asking you, are you going to become caged and fighting out? Or are you simply going to go, I'm not fighting with you all anymore. This is what I want. And I'm going to start doing what I want. And that's okay. Because this is my life. Just as much as it is yours. And on my terms, this is the way it's going to be. You also have Mercury, which is not getting along with Neptune. The magic. Neptune is the 12th house. Grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, the denials that you won't heal because you're still lying to yourself about it being in denial. The magic is created either in cycles of the same cycle or spins off into new, depending on the healing that does or does not happen. The communication, which is Mercury, as it shifts from the 6th house to the 7th, because it's going into Libra, Mercury will be midweek, and it is specifically communicating on these routines, the communication, how does it serve you, versus going into Libra and going, well, am I asking too much of myself? Do I give it back? See, because Libra is funky that way. Libra wants harmony and balance. Harmony, balance, and justice. It's the 7th house, it's the relationships. But the problem is, we're talking about communication. Well, you turn around and talk yourself into believing that you deserve less because you're trying to be a good person and give it all to them. No. It's important to love yourself. If you can't love yourself right, how are you ever going to teach somebody else to love you? You have a sextile, like a chain reactions of sextiles, which is great energy. Sextiles are opportunities. The only problem with sextiles is you feel the opportunity and sometimes you get lazy and don't take it. And then it's not there anymore. You have a whole ton of sextiles going on. You have Pluto in the 10th house, that outer world, showing that you have authority of your own life, your own choices, your own prestige, honor, reputation, how you can make your money and create your life in the outer world with that authority, if you're feeling in that power. It is saying, believe in it and it will be so. It is speaking with Neptune going, well, again, what you believe, magically you will create. So do you believe that you are creating something new, that authority, that power, bringing yourself into that higher ascension of where you're trying to take your goals, dreams, ambitions, your life? Or are you believing that you're stuck in the same freaking cycle? Society's the way it is. There's nothing you can do because then you'll be creating that. But that energy then is speaking to Uranus, telling you just what your worth is. Your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. You create your manifestation according to the law of abundance of how you feel. If you feel good and secure and believe in yourself, then you have more to create. When you feel manipulated, stepped on, taken advantage of, you start feeling less about yourself and your creativity shuts down. All you have to do is believe in you. But if you can't, you'll turn around and sabotage yourself. That energy is talking to Lilith, and I say it that way because I keep saying Lilith in that 4th house, which is that second gut, the abdominal energy in the blueprint, but it's Cancer energy, meaning, will you give the energy to somebody else? I'll believe in you more than I'll believe in me. Or what you're wanting to do is really important, so let me help you out with that. And then when it's time for you, do you have time for you? It's important to be selfish sometimes. You can't give good love to others if you can't give it to yourself. If you can't be strong and secure and feeling healthy in you, sometimes you have to back up because you're not going to be giving it out. And knowing this is key. You have Mars, which is also sextiling Jupiter. That's your character, your identity, believing in yourself, overcoming that strife, that doubt, because we're talking about Chiron in that energy, the wounded healer, believing in your character, your identity, your view. You're changing into a positive energy and taking that Mars to give you the communication and the action into moving forward and actually making it so. It's there, but will you do it or will you wait too long? You have Chiron also, which is sextiling Saturn. It's all about if you can believe. Chiron's the wounded healer. I'm a little scared. I'm not really good at making the thing. I'm good at helping everybody else. When I still have some denial and issues, I'm still dealing with the 1st house, starting a new cycle. I'm not 100% sure. Fall on your face and learn. Rules, walls, boundaries. Setting goals, dreams, and ambitions with people who are like-minded, vibrationally on the same frequency. Sometimes the easiest way to learn is to just take a chance. You may not know you won't know if you don't try. That's more or less what that is. You won't know if you don't try, but you can always tell yourself whatever you want. But is that really doubt? Fear? That's nothing more than a waste of time. You also have Mercury, which is speaking in trines with Mars, as well as with Pluto all week. That communication, as it goes from the 6th to the 7th house, from your daily routines, your mundane tasks, your people, places, and energies that you consume and digest into your actual body, the communication of what you're thinking, feeling, desiring, and are you communicating it outwardly as well as to yourself? It's speaking directly with Mars in the communication house of, are you truly getting this? Are you truly, being able to lift this up and say it to the people around you properly? But then it's also speaking to the 10th house, Pluto. You can communicate anything you want, and if the outer world wants to hear it, they will. If they don't want to hear it, they won't. But what's important is you believe in the authority of you. You hear it. Because, see, your soul needs to know that you are believing in your soul. You also have Venus, which is trining Chiron. Your sensitivity may break your heart from where you're shown where you haven't been loving yourself correctly. But it also will set you free, so you'll learn how to do it and stop doing what has harmed you. Your 5th house is your fire, your inner violet flame, your inner creation of you. You were here to illuminate you, the creation of you, authenticity. Your magic is the fact that you're still breathing, but do you believe in it? Do you believe in your capability to strengthen that solar plexus, to strengthen yourself, to strengthen, your dreams and breathe them into reality? The fifth house is your pursuit of pleasure. Do you enjoy your life? Are you getting time to do what you want to do to make you shine? It is definitely speaking to the character. Is the character of who you want to be and who you are one and the same? It's speaking to Jupiter and to Chiron, telling you where you are setting yourself up for failure with your own denials, but also telling you where you're doing it right. So this is a week of take action, but give yourself some downtime too. Soulfully love yourself. Take that meditation time. Take that, I need that 40-minute in the bath. Take a nice salt bath, candles. You need some pampering. Not because you need to be like, oh, it's okay. No. It's reminding yourself that you deserve everything that you want. That you deserve it. You're soulfully capable of creating it. It's called self-love. And when you can do that, then you come back into your power. Then you also start becoming the power in your own outer world. I don't have to get vindictively in your face when threatened. You're just showing me that actually you're the one that's threatened. That's their problem, right? Love yourself. Find yourself. Start serving yourself into what your soul needs. Your soul will talk to you. But are you also telling it that you love it and you're ready to listen? I love you guys. I will see you next week. Bye.